I'm going to go from 0 to fluent with NativShark. We never really say that we do offer fluency. We do offer a pretty high level of proficiency to a point where you could comfortably live and work in Japan. And considering that's the goal for me, I work for NativShark as the media director, and I have had a hand in a lot of the stuff that you have seen about NativShark, but not all of it. I've not actually gone through the program. Don't know a lick of Japanese. You know, if I want to live and work in Japan and continue working for the company, it's a good idea for me to actually learn Japanese. But more importantly, it's a pretty interesting test to test out our platform on a complete beginner. And we figure, you know what, there's going to be a lot of people like me. There's going to be a lot of people that want to become better at Japanese, and what better way to advertise it than to have a complete beginner go through it and become this master sensei at Japanese through NativShark. So this is what this is. This is the first study vlog of many. It's just basically going to be a sort of a captain's log, stardate 2557 or something, of my journey to becoming better at Japanese. I'm not a stranger to learning languages. I know English, I know French, I know how to speak Canadian, and I know how to speak American. And I grew up with Arabic and Urdu as well, having grown up in the Middle East and originally being from Pakistan. Since moving to Canada and becoming a Canadian citizen, it's been quite a while since I've actually sat down to learn a language. So this will be like a whole new experience for me. From what I understand, things haven't really changed when it comes to language education from 10 years ago. Yes, a lot of it's a lot more online, but it still seems like the overarching recommendation is to buy textbooks, go to language school, take a course in university, that sort of thing. I don't believe that's the way forward. I don't think that kind of educational model is going to work very well, especially as more and more people have access to education. We need to find ways to accompany a greater amount of people. And the way we've built NativShark to adapt to you and your study habits, I think that's pretty interesting, and I'm going to see how it adapts to me and my study habits, and I'm pretty hardcore, so let's see how well we do, how quickly I can learn Japanese. Welcome to week 1. Let's get into it. And with that, we were off. The first thing I did was to head into my profile settings and set my pace to 2 years. After all, I do enjoy a bit of a challenge, and 4 years seemed a little pedestrian to me. I want to learn, but at a relatively brisk pace. The journey started out very smoothly. The first day I learned the vowel sounds of hiragana, which are a, I, u, e, and o. I learned the most important words a traveler to Japan should know, which is
すみません
meaning sorry or excuse me, depending on the context, as well as gomennasai, which is more an alternate way to apologize to someone. This is not the only word you can use to apologize, though. In that same situation, you can also say
ごめんなさい
gomennasai.
ごめんなさい。
I also learned their casual counterparts, suimasen and gomen, and the program here started to stress the importance of formality. Day 2, we started the session off with a review session, which gave us flashcards to prompt us to remember the words and phrases that we already covered before. The flashcards themselves have a self-assignment feature that gives you the option to rate your experience with a particular flashcard. Your options are no effort, remembered, difficult, and I forgot. That's a good scale, because unless you can recall it off the top of your head, it's not something you should ever say no effort for. If it's something like you had to think about it a little bit. I remembered. Difficult is you get there eventually, and then I forgot completely. It's like you're completely stuck. You had no idea. But I can see that being a little confusing for some people. I think we should probably make a video on it. After the reviews, it was time to learn some more hiragana, namely the sa and ta family of sounds, as well as their voiced counterparts. It was today where I had my first big moment of reading the hiragana sounds I had just learned that day and the day before. We've got isu.
椅子
Yep. Sugoi.
すごい
Oi! Okay, we're reading Japanese. This is amazing. The rush of endorphins when you figure something out by yourself for the first time. It's a good feeling. Really good feeling. Day 2, we read Japanese. Officially, without much help. I'm not going to diminish the achievement. It's still an achievement, and when you go through this and you feel like you've accomplished something, don't take it for granted. Always remember it, internalize it, and use that to make you keep going. But then, disaster struck. Fell sick. When that happens, you gotta look out for number 1. Unfortunately, what that meant for me is I lost my streak. When you make that mindset switch to someone who wants to learn Japanese to someone who says, no, I am someone who who studies Japanese, it comes with an implicit promise to yourself that you are someone who studies every day. I broke that promise to myself. I'm not going to hide from it. I'm not going to redo the vlog or anything like that. I'm going to accept it. I own it. I only have myself to blame, I suppose, for breaking the streak, for breaking my own promise. The only thing I can do now is just continue and keep going and hope that moving forward, we won't have any more issues. Day 3 proved to be tricky, as it felt like a notable step up from the previous 2 days. A lot more hiragana, including one I really struggled with. I'm sorry, what? Jeez, I need to go back. Who? No, it's like who, but it's who, but who. It's almost like I'm making a K sound. Who. Like I feel it in the back of my throat. Who? How the hell? Who. Pair that with Okaeri and Nihon Yokoso, and it was quite an arduous day of study. Day 4, however, was a happier end to our first week. We learned the M sound hiragana, the trickier RL sound hiragana, and how to ask if someone is okay. Dialogue started to become a little bit more flowy, a little more natural, as if there was a real conversation happening in front of you, which, in a strange sort of way, helped with the study immersion for me.
ごめん、大丈夫？
大丈夫。大丈夫？
大丈夫、ありがとう。
大丈夫? I'm fine. Are you okay? Oh, sorry. Are you okay? I'm fine. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm okay. Thank you. It's cool to see the dialogue sort of reinforce the stuff that you've learned through the lesson in a very, very natural way. Like we're dealing again with natural audio. Throughout this whole thing, I've never felt like I've been tripped up by anything. It's mostly just like me forgetting to remember things rather than the program itself telling me something that I don't know, which I really appreciate so far. It makes me feel like I need to do better rather than me feeling utterly lost and hopeless, which I've definitely felt in the past before. Like when I tried to learn Arabic, I don't feel like NativShark is throwing anything at me that feels unreasonable, which is really good. We continued on with Y sound hiragana and the last 3 hiragana, which were lovingly referred to as misfits, which I thought was a nice touch. And I had another moment where I correctly read the hiragana of something I'd never seen before. Daijobu. Eigo daijobu. You can say eigo daijobu if to ask if you can use English, and eigo wakarimasu ka. Did I get that right? The following sentence will help. Eigo daijobu desu ka?
英語大丈夫ですか?
I read the thing! Holy crap! That's amazing! Okay. The rest of the lesson was far from straightforward, as pronunciation of certain words was becoming tricky. But the results thus far were not lost on me. We wrapped up the day with a dialogue and a little reflection on what we've achieved thus far. Today was huge. I felt, for me anyways. I felt like I could read. I felt like I could genuinely read. We've learned how to read in a week. We've learned how to read characters and read them in a way that makes sense. And obviously, we're not reading anything we haven't seen before. For the new units, when the new stuff comes up, consistently, I've been able to like look at the furigana and like think, okay, how does this one sound? What are these characters? Like, I feel really good about like what I've learned and what I can say so far. It's a pretty solid start, and I'm pretty happy with it. With one unit left to learn all the hiragana sounds and no immediate pressing matters, I thought, you know what? No, we're not going to stop there. We're going to do one more because there's still, I want to get all the hiragana down and done because it looks like we're going to be learning katakana for the next one. Yeah, let's do unit 9, shall we? I learned 7 sets of blended sounds, which led me to our final lesson of the week, how to say hello. We motored through that and were greeted by the hiragana progression badge. All sounds learned. Let's go! I am very happy with today. Today felt good. Today felt like we made progress. Today was excellent. And I had a lot of fun. So to sum up, week 1 of learning Japanese in 2020. I can read hiragana. That's proper exciting.